What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to Tunes That Kill. Today I have a discussion video for your discussion topic that I've been wanting to bring up for quite a while now. And, lately my YouTube feed has been sort of flooded with a bunch of videos on this topic. And I sort of took it as a signal to, throw my own 2 cents in and finally, make my own video about it because it's something, I don't want to say is making me angry. I don't want to call this a rant because I'm not really angry, but I am a little annoyed that there's a notion out there that compact discs, music CDs, were gone for decades, and suddenly they are back. So I've been seeing a lot of videos titled "Are CDs back? Are CDs finally coming back?" Stuff like that, and sort of triggered me a little bit because someone with a sizable CD collection of probably over 1,000 now. I need to do a count, but I've been collecting for almost 2 decades. And I don't sort of understand this notion of CDs were gone because I'll tell you this, CDs were never gone and they never left. So we can look at it differently in different perspectives and stuff like that. If we're talking about brand new compact discs, brand new CDs, being released, every month, every week or so. That has never stopped. I can tell you this: when the streaming services were gaining traction, and when physical media was sort of dropping down in numbers a little bit, sort of the early 2010s. I can tell you this: I went to every single bookstore, record store, even places like Urban Outfitters, a clothing store. They were carrying brand new CDs from artists, from current contemporary artists. And, if we are talking about a drop in sales, well, we have to look at the physical media realm as a whole because, it's only natural that, if there's an industry push for digital streaming, digital file sharing, stuff like that, well, of course, the physical format is going to suffer. If we look at charts and graphs, and I don't want to, sort of dig deep into the logistics and the calculations and the research, just for the sake of keeping this video as short as possible and just getting my emotions out. Yes, both vinyl records and CDs took a dip in the early 2010s up until pretty much COVID. When people sort of had the time and the money to spend on stuff, especially here in the United States, where the government was sending out checks with money and covering a lot of the expenses, rental expenses and bills and stuff like that. So you had spare money to basically spend on yourself, and you went out buying music, and that's when we started seeing really the rise of vinyl again, that picked up about 5 years ago. But if we're talking about the digital streaming era, sort of coming into play with iTunes. I believe iTunes came out early 2000s, but really gained traction in like 2008, something like that, when the iPhone was really, gaining traction at the time. Of course, then Spotify, Apple Music, stuff like that. You're naturally, with such amount of marketing money and effort put into and poured into, promoting the digital streaming sort of realm. Obviously, the physical media and the CDs, your DVDs, your Blu-rays and vinyl records, they're going to take a dip, of course. But everything is cyclical in life and in history. Everything is cyclical. So there will be a period of a down, and then there's going to be a period of an up, and it kind of comes and goes in cycles like that. And we've seen this trend so many times with so many different things, including musical genres that were popular, then died out, then became popular again, stuff like that. We can see that with nu metal today, where it was so hot, then it was just practically non-existent, and now it's gaining a lot of traction. Similarly with physical media. And when people make videos about this question, are CDs back? Is the CD format, back again and stuff like that? Maybe people are not clarifying and mentioning that they're talking about, maybe brand new sealed CDs being put out by labels and stuff like that. Because with the rise of websites like Bandcamp, physical media has not really completely gone away. Definitely there was a dip in numbers, a dip in sort of sales. But the CD's never gone away. I've been buying CDs from Bandcamp for almost 15 years now. And I've always bought CDs, and they're always manufactured. There was never like a break or sort of a disruption in that sort of trend. Again, so if a major label is pushing, if they have ties with those streaming companies, if they have these sort of deals going on and they're trying to push these digital platforms, there's nothing we can do about that. That's such a mogul sort of idea. All these big record companies, we cannot really influence them. And we can't live by what they're into and by their fads and stuff like that. So, I've been always buying CDs, brand new CDs from bands directly supporting the artists on Bandcamp and their websites and stuff like that, social media. I've amassed over 1,000 CDs in the last decade or so. And, I really don't understand the argument. I guess what people are failing to mention, again, like I'm saying, maybe they're talking about brand new releases from major labels that are being stocked in stores these days or on Amazon and stuff like that. Because to boldly claim that CDs were gone and they're coming back, I think that's misinformation, for the lack of a better term. So, used CDs, the used CD market has definitely never gone away. And in fact, I mean, it's always been on a steady sort of trajectory. And if you look into research, and Discogs did a bunch of research, the used market has never gone away, and there isn't really basis to claim that they're finally back. And so the vinyl. So if we're talking about vinyl records, indeed there's been a much greater dip in sort of vinyl record sales from their heyday up until the 2000s, where virtually they were just non-existent and barely anybody pressed vinyl records. And so, coming back from that period of stagnation and lack of sales for vinyl records, and then such a spike during COVID, it kind of steals all the attention away. It makes it seem like, CDs are kind of dragged along with it. Like, they were non-existent and suddenly they're back. I think for vinyl records, it makes more sense with these sort of headlines. Vinyl record sales are at their peak in a long time, stuff like that. It does make sense. It's backed by huge numbers and huge disparity in numbers between what they used to be and what they are now again. It's not the same case for CDs. And, CDs, I think, are, the only surviving format throughout their existence. And there's never really been a dramatic dip in CD sales. CDs never went away. There's a lot of people out there that are testament to this. You can talk to record store owners and ask them, what they've experienced over the last 10, 15, 20 years. And they'll tell you that, CD sales have never gone down. CD sales literally keep stores open. And again, what I think a lot of people fail to mention in their videos, in their sort of, discussion videos on this topic, is they're primarily talking about brand new CD sales from major labels. Again, independent artists, independent labels have been pumping out CDs left and right. And I can attest to that because I've been purchasing them nonstop for the last 10, 15 years. So, if they're not racking up the same amount of money, well, if you're buying from an independent creator, online directly from them, you won't be spending $20 on a CD. They sell them for $10, stuff like that. By directly supporting, you're avoiding the middleman and stuff like that. So, of course, the numbers are not going to sort of match your expectations, right? It's just a slightly different motion here going on. And I think what also a lot of people are talking about and why they think the CDs are coming back, which again is not true in my opinion. It just hasn't been as widely covered, in the media, in the press, on YouTube, in the mainstream sort of realm, right? It hasn't really been mentioned as much recently. But again, the statistics and the sales back it. And, CDs never disappeared or went completely under the radar. Yes, of course, they waned down a little bit, and it's natural with things like digital streaming. One thing takes over for a little bit, then the other thing, sort of gains back its spot. And, my point of making this rant video wasn't just to complain and be a downer and, rage over here on camera, but I'm just genuinely worried and nervous that, all these headlines, all this artificial hype, around this resurgence of CD is just going to attract a lot of unnecessary, unwanted attention from cash grabs, from money bags, from people trying to profit off of this. I just don't want my favorite hobby to be disrupted, to be mingled with, to be ruined, essentially, right? Because we all know if there's too much attention to something, some people who are really eager to make a lot of money, they're going to jack up prices. They're really going to control the market again, and it's not going to be the same. They're going to inflate sort of the value of these things, and it's going to be so much more difficult for people to enjoy music, and that's what I don't want. I just hate seeing these headlines, these videos, sort of trying to artificially explode this idea with these, sort of bloated claims that CDs are back, and we need to sort of set all our eyes on it. And again, I'm just afraid that people who are not into it and are not about music and are just about profit are going to ruin the hobby. But again, this is just one man's opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you agree with some of my points? Do you disagree? What do you think about this whole situation of the CD resurgence? Do you believe there's a CD resurgence? Have you been collecting, for a long time? Have you noticed any patterns, anything different? Has there really been such a, sort of lack of CD sales and interest in CDs that, this period in time right now warrants for it to be called a resurgence? Let me guys know. I'm really curious. Just want to, chat with you about it and see what you guys think. And, I'm happy to bring to you a cool discussion topic and a bit of a controversial one, but that's what makes them interesting. And if you're new to the channel, Tunes That Kill, we talk about great music here on the channel. I share with you everything that I bring into my collection. I share, my opinions on things going on in the world of music with videos like this. So if you're into that kind of stuff, please do consider subscribing, hitting the bells, hitting the likes, throwing the comments down in the comments section below. And I'm excited to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you made it to the end, and I'll see you soon. Rock on.